When a man returns after a period of no contact, it often reveals a profound truth. Absence makes him see you through a lens of clarity he never had before. During the silence, when the noise of everyday life quiets down, he starts to reflect not just on the relationship, but on who you were within it. And what he begins to realize is powerful. You were more than a partner. You were a source of strength, of support, and of meaning. Men, like everyone else, can be creatures of habit. It's easy for them to take for granted the very things that bring them peace and comfort when those things are always available. But when you remove yourself, when you choose no contact and give him the space to exist without you, he's left to face the stark contrast between having you in his life and living without you. In that void, he remembers the details that once felt so small, but now loom large. He recalls the way you listened when he needed to be heard, the way you encouraged him when he doubted himself, and even the way you challenged him to be better when he fell short. Those moments weren't just fleeting, they were imprints, shaping how he saw himself in the world. And now, without you there, he realizes just how deeply those imprints matter. Your absence forces him to see the truth of what you brought to the table. It's not just about the big gestures, it's the consistency, the quiet strength, and the unwavering care that now feel irreplaceable. The meals shared, the laughter exchanged, the moments of vulnerability, these weren't just experiences, they were the foundation of something real, something grounding. And now he misses that. But it's more than just nostalgia. The time apart gives him the chance to understand you in a way he couldn't before. He sees how you valued yourself, how you didn't chase him or beg for his attention. Instead, you stepped back, gave space, and trusted your own worth. That kind of confidence is rare, and it's unforgettable. He begins to recognize that the way you carried yourself, even in the face of distance, was a reflection of your strength. You didn't let the silence break you. You used it to grow, to heal, and to reaffirm who you are. And that energy, it's magnetic. It doesn't just draw him back, it inspires him to be better, to rise to the level of the person he now realizes he had all along. In his return, there's a vulnerability that wasn't there before. It's not just about wanting to reconnect, it's about acknowledging the depth of the bond that still pulls at him. He comes back because he's seen the difference between what you offered and what others couldn't. He's felt the weight of your absence, and he knows it's not something he wants to carry any longer. Your strength and no contact wasn't just about him, it was about you. It was about standing firm in your values, trusting the process, and knowing that what's meant for you will find its way back. And now, here he is, returning not just because he misses you, but because he's realized your worth in ways he couldn't see before. This journey, this period of separation wasn't wasted. It was a necessary part of the story, a chance for both of you to grow, to reflect, and to understand what truly matters. And as he returns, it's with a new perspective, one that sees you not just as someone he cares about, but as someone he deeply respects and values. Sometimes it takes distance to bring clarity, and in that clarity, he's found his way back to the person who always stood out. When a man comes back after a period of no contact, one of the most profound realizations he has is the irreplaceable nature of genuine connection. He's not just drawn back by the memory of who you are, he's drawn back by the feeling of what it was like to be with you, the emotional safety, the shared understanding, and the quiet, steady support that cannot be replicated elsewhere. In his absence, he's had time to compare, to reflect, and to recognize that what he experienced with you is not something easily found. At first, no contact feels like freedom to him. There's space to breathe, to focus on himself, and maybe even to explore other options. But as time stretches on, the novelty wears off. He starts to realize that something crucial is missing. It's not just your presence, it's the depth of the bond you shared. The surface level interactions he might encounter elsewhere don't come close to matching the authenticity of what you had. He remembers how you made him feel seen and understood in a way that others didn't. You had the ability to look past the facade, to connect with who he truly was, even in his most vulnerable moments. That level of intimacy, of emotional depth, is rare. And as much as he might have taken it for granted before, now he sees its value. It's in the quiet moments of his solitude that this realization becomes unavoidable. He might try to distract himself, to fill the void with work, hobbies, or even new relationships. But distractions only last so long. Eventually, he's left with the truth. The connection you shared was unique, built on trust, respect, and an unspoken understanding. And that truth begins to weigh on him. What draws him back isn't just a memory of you, it's the realization of what he lost. In the silence, he's forced to confront the fact that relationships like yours aren't easily replaced. They require effort, vulnerability, and a mutual willingness to grow together. And now he sees that he may have walked away from something extraordinary in pursuit of something fleeting. When he returns, it's often with a mix of hope and humility. Hope that the door isn't fully closed, and humility in recognizing that he may need to work to earn his place back in your life. This isn't just about rekindling what once was, it's about acknowledging the depth of what you built together and the part he played in losing it. But his return is also a testament to your strength. Your choice to go no contact wasn't just about creating distance, it was about honoring yourself. It was about stepping back and giving him the space to see what he needed to see without you having to convince him of your worth. That kind of self-assurance speaks volumes, even in silence. As he reflects, he begins to see that what made your connection so special wasn't just the love you gave, it was the way you loved yourself enough to demand reciprocity. You didn't settle for less, and that boundary is what ultimately drew him back. It showed him that you value yourself, and that value is magnetic. This journey, though painful, has been necessary. It's allowed both of you to see the truth more clearly. For him, it's a chance to appreciate the depth of what you offered. For you, it's a reaffirmation of your strength and the power of honoring your own needs. And when he returns, it's not just with words, it's with a deeper understanding of who you are and the connection you share. That kind of clarity, born from absence and reflection, is the foundation of something stronger, something more intentional, and something truly lasting. When a man returns after no contact, it's often because he's discovered the kind of peace you brought into his life, a peace he didn't even realize he needed. During the time apart, he's had a chance to sit with himself, to wrestle with his thoughts, and to confront the reality of what life is like without your presence. And it's in those moments of solitude that he begins to appreciate the emotional sanctuary you provided, one he might have overlooked or underestimated before. Relationships aren't just about grand gestures or fiery passion, they're about the everyday rhythm of life, the small, quiet moments that make up the foundation of connection. In the absence of contact, he starts to see that your presence brought balance to his life. Maybe it was the way you diffused tension with a kind word, or the way you knew when to listen without judgment. Whatever it was, it created a stability that's hard to find. And now he feels the lack of it profoundly.